Now, since this is my first video, I'm not sure, how many people are actually going to see this, but it's just going to be a little bit of a rant on my dog walk here. And I do plan on getting other videos out. I've been wanting to do this for a little while now. My name is Mark. I live in Canada. However, I'm a very, very big Trump fan. And I want to talk about the upcoming election and all the shenanigans going on. Don't mind if my dog distracts me a bit here. He might get a little annoying. Really, where to start? I'm sure a lot of us see it. This big, Kamala Harris now has been the new nominee, so-called nominee, for the Democrat Party for, 3 weeks now? And at first, I was on X, checking it out, and I was on the For You feed, not my own personal feed that I follow, just the For You, to see what the random stuff is that's being thrown out. 90% of it, it's all coming from the left. I found that a little weird. Where's the people on the right? I don't think they're not out there doing their thing, but where are they at? It seems a little strange. So at first, I found it was felt a little discouraging. A lot of propaganda, whatnot, all these massive crowds all of a sudden that Kamala Harris is attracting out of nowhere. Y'all wanted her gone just a few months ago. Everybody wanted her gone. Now everybody loves her. A little strange. So I think it's pretty obvious now that we're not watching a presidential campaign. I think J.D. Vance this morning in one of his interviews put it really nicely. We're watching a feature presentation. We're watching a movie production. I mean, not to say she can't draw a crowd. When you schedule rappers to twerk, which is a little pathetic, but paying homeless people in Atlanta to fill up her seats. How many other people are being paid in these crowds? And painfully enough, I've sat through a little bit of her campaigning, a little bit of her rally. The energy is completely different than Trump. Trump is organic. You can see it in the crowd. The people love him. They're chanting USA, USA. They're all dressed out in USA gear. You look at a Kamala crowd, I don't know, I see face masks. It seems fake. I mean, her crowd can get loud. I think she had a rally last night where it looked like a pretty full stadium, but there was a whole section of it that was closed off. At least seating for 5,000 to 6,000 people. And they were smart. They put up an acoustic curtain. Trap that sound in. Make it sound louder. Now look, Trump just did a rally in Bozeman. And I understand after what happened with him, with the attempted assassination, I understand trying to avoid the outdoor thing for now, doing like smaller venues, closed venues, it's safer. But when I check the size of the stadium in Bozeman and I see the capacity, I think was like 8,000 or something. I was like, man, that's Trump's line that waits outside, But when those seats filled up, and they did fill up, don't fall for any of those pictures that you see on X. That's, pictures taken 6 hours before people are let in. It was loud and organic crowd. Milo, come here. Sorry, that's my dog. My dog distracted me again. It was a loud, organic crowd. It was real. This fake movie that we're watching, And what's creepy about it is if people don't wake up to it, this can work. This can work. Think about it. We might actually be watching. I'm not really one to try and insult people, but somebody with lower intelligence than most other politicians. I mean, you can clearly see that when she talks. She's great at, you know, with her famous sentence there, unburdened and this and that. And she's just great at taking a sentence and then wrapping it backwards to make it sound like she's intelligent. However, she can actually swing this off. And that's what everybody's got to watch out for. Not just her, it's the machine. The democratic machine is real. We've known this for a long time. Now again, as I said, I'm Canadian. This doesn't directly affect my country, yet it does. Trump is more important. And this is where people really got to open up their eyes. I know most of the Trump supporters know this. But the independents, anybody who is iffy about Trump, look at his 4 years. Look at his 4 years. Look at Biden's 4 years. I know you've all heard that comparison before. Trump did what he said he was going to do. He came in, he attacked the border. Well, I don't mean literally attack, but attacked on closing it down, trimming it down. He's done so much. There's just too many policies I can think of right now. It's my head's getting a little jumbled. This is why I had to get all this type of stuff out. Been thinking about this for a while, wanting to do a channel to jump and help and pitch in, to try and wake some people up. People need to wake up. Trump is needed on the world stage. He's not just needed in the US. Of course, he's needed in the US, but overall, he is heavily needed on the world stage. He had the world in a peaceful state. Now, y'all might just think, maybe that was just chances. Like, maybe if Trump had a second term, these wars might have broken anyways. I doubt it. I doubt it. Leaders overseas knew that Trump was unpredictable. He truly did lead strength, or peace through strength is what he says. And he did it. Your economy. I don't get it when people are literally saying, how the economy's in a better place now? How? Name me how. Oh, but Trump's a liar. He's a bad man. He's got 34 felony convictions. Please. Any intelligent person could see right through that. That whole case was BS. I followed that daily on Twitter. Sorry, X. Followed that daily. I, at the time, was even willing to bet money that there's no way they're going to convict him. It was such a faulty case. 34 counts. And it was just so they can call him a convicted criminal. I mean, that's not going to last. We all know that's going to get overturned. Each and every indictment that's been thrown at him will bounce off of him. And it's not because he's just Teflon Don, as people tried to call him, or he's got the, what is it now? You guys are going after the Supreme Court. He's got the Supreme Court rigged. So you're telling me that case that he had in Manhattan, and he sent it up to those 5 Supreme Court justices in Manhattan. He was a former sitting president who was gagged, a gag order. Nothing was thrown his way. And then when he appealed anything to those 5 Supreme Court justices in New York, instantly shot down. It was unconstitutional. He didn't even know what he was being charged with until the very last minute of that court case. That's okay, though. That's okay. All right. But it gets to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court looks at these things and they go, this is complete BS. There was tons and tons and tons of reversible errors by a crooked judge. Anybody can see he's crooked. Anybody that, again, has their eyes open. The only people that don't see he's crooked are the people that don't want to see he's crooked. You know, can't remember where I heard the saying, but it's a lot easier to believe a happy lie or a convenient lie than the hard truth. And everybody who is opposing Trump is about to get that hard truth. Some of you are saying, oh, he staged the assassination attempt. Yeah, perfect. He turned his head just in time. Just in time. Oh, he was, you know, it'll be pointed out, but people died. Somebody died. The shooter died. The Corey died. Oh, Trump doesn't care about nobody else. No, he's a bad guy. He's a liar. He's a rapist. Like, he would even go near that woman. You see what she, you know, not to knock nobody on their looks. I don't mean physical appearance, but she looks a little bit like a loony, just a little bit. And if I'm right, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I don't have the actual support with me at the moment, but hasn't E. Jean Carroll done this before? Hasn't she accused people of this type of thing before? I'm pretty sure she has. But revive it 20 years later, throw it at Trump. Oh, it's Trump, it's okay. He's orange, he's bad. We can do whatever we want to him. This is honestly sickening. It really is sickening to watch. I truly believe that Trump, yes, will win in a landslide. But the work's gonna have to be done. The work's gonna have to be done. Nobody can be complacent. Nobody can just sit on their butt and hope for the best. And think, oh, don't worry, we got this. There's a few mistakes that the Democrats are making yet again. Because they think that the general public are dumb as doornails. Anybody with their eyes open can see it. They're doing everything too fast. Way too fast. Kamala went from 68 people at one of her rallies one day, which looked like an old age home or whatnot, to all of a sudden she got Tim Walz. And boom, thousands of people because of Tim Walz, guys, really? Come on, man. Don't be falling for this. Don't be falling for this. So, and what I mean, who is falling for it is the left. Sorry, my dog's distracting me again. Milo, get over here, buddy. People on the right, don't fall for this. Yet, do not get complacent. You know, I'm sure many of you guys do, I check out Dan Bongino. And he says you got to treat it like you're 10 points down at all times. You do. You really, really do. And again, you might be wondering, just as I said, I started explaining, but I started ranting off. Why do I care? You guys are my next door neighbor. I totally care what happens with the United States, not just for Canada's safety, but for the safety of our entire continent. Again, this has to do with the world stage. Trump is needed back worldwide, not just for the US. Other leaders can see this. Trump is needed back. He's much more important than maybe some people are aware. The people running the puppets out there know how important he is. They know what he can do and what he's going to do. Stop believing all these lies you're being fed about him. I mean, if he's a liar, this is what I always hear, all he does is lie, 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 lie. He lied through that whole debate with Joe Biden, right? He may have embellished. What direct lie did he say? What direct lie did he say? How come you guys can never prove anything? Look at this. Trump comes down those escalators in 2015. Everybody loved him before he stepped foot on those escalators. Then he comes down and says, yeah, I'm running for president, but as a Republican. Oh man, instantly overnight, the world turns on him. The left-leaning side of the world turns on him. They all loved him when he was donating money to the Democrat Party back in the past. They loved him then. They had no problem with him. You know, this man is just trying to do the right thing. He really is. And you people, sorry, I shouldn't be so direct to say that, but most of you that are still fast asleep, who don't want to believe the inconvenient truth, can't see what he's actually trying to do. Y'all really can't see it? The guy's not bankrupted himself, but he's lost a lot of money. You know how easy and breezy his life can be? All he had to do is just step away. Oh, he's going to be a dictator on day one. That's a great one. And the fact, you know, it's really hilarious that Joe Biden still tries to pull this. You all know what he said when he spoke to Sean Hannity. Yeah, I'm only going to be a dictator on day one. I'm going to close the border and drill. Then I'm done. No more dictatorship. That's such a bad thing, people? Oh, there's going to be a bloodbath. We've all heard Trump say it. Yeah, do I really have to explain this stuff? Come on, man. We all know what he meant about the bloodbath thing with the automobile industry. There's times now when I watch a Trump rally, and I watch all of them, where, let's point at the news conference actually. The news conference he did with 11 different news stations there, many of them left-leaning. Trump's got no fear. He'll come and speak to anybody. But when he says, oh, you know, gasoline is now $7, $8, $9 a barrel. I was like, oh boy, here we go. Anybody can make that gaffe. Anybody can, but no, there's going to be people on X saying, oh, Trump is losing his cognitive ability. Lo and behold, what happens? Oh, Trump thinks that barrels are worth $7, $8, $9. Does he not know what a gallon is? Is he too old for? Come on. You know, you guys enjoy it now while you have it, while you think you have it. But come November, you're going to see a lot of red hats out there to vote. And no matter how much they try and illegitimize the process, I guess I can use. I'm not sure what word I should use here, because I know on YouTube you do have to be careful. It's not going to work. And it's going to be obvious. It's going to be obvious. Eyeballs are out everywhere now. This isn't going to be 2020 again. It's not going to be 2020 again. And if it does turn into 2020 again, and Kamala Harris is named the new president of the United States for possibly 8 years, y'all are really going to regret it. I don't mean that in a threatening way at all. I'm not saying people are going to rise up like Jamie Raskin's trying to say what's going to happen. I think you're going to realize that any policy that Kamala talks about, which happens, you know, her very first policy she is speaking about happens to be a Trump policy. That's a little convenient. But anything that she promises, she means it until November 5th. Then you're going to see real socialism and dictatorship. Again, I'm in Canada. Why do I care about this? You know who runs my country. Got to be careful about how you speak about them. Otherwise, we can get treated just how they get treated in the UK, out here. I've been living through all this already. A lot of Canadians have. Crazy taxes, crazy inflation, climate change. Oh, God. I got nothing wrong with trying to, you know, be environmentally friendly, taking care of the planet. I don't like seeing people litter. You know, the basic stuff. But this carbon tax stuff that we have to deal with out here, which didn't even exist a few years ago, You know, it's been raised, I think, like 3 solid times now. And I think it's up to from 0 to 63%. We're going through the same thing out here. You guys are complaining about your gas out there. It's worse out here. If a Canadian were to drive over the border and fill up their tank right now, they'd feel like they're getting a deal. They really would. When you guys were getting your gas at $1.87 a gallon, that's insane. Out here, we go by the liter, so 3.8 liters to make a gallon. And before carbon tax kicked in, we were at like $1.28 a liter. And that was good times for us out here. Gas has always been a little cheaper, I guess, out in the States. But even at, I'm hearing you guys, I think on average are about $5 a gallon, around there. That's still a great deal compared to what we're doing out here. Right now, this morning, I think it was $1.74.9 a liter. Take that, do your exchange. I know the Canadian dollar is not worth as much, but you're still probably talking like, at least $7 for a gallon. Either way, that's not really what I wanted to talk about. It just got a little sidetracked. You guys, keep your head up. Keep your head up, be troopers. Get Trump in there, man. Get him in there. I can't stress it enough. And you know, just again, to prove the importance of this man, you have Canadian Trumpers. The province I live in is probably his least favored province. And for those of you who don't know, a province is technically a state. I'm sure you all knew that. And I see Trump supporters out here. You know what I mean? I know you guys are probably like, yeah, well, that's, you know, people in different countries love Trump. The whole point of that is, I've never once seen a Canadian with a decal sticker, a hat, a shirt, or anything for Biden or Kamala Harris. Trump is the real deal. He's the real deal. I'm sure, you know, everybody that's on the right side of the aisle know this already. It's those independents. Those independents really need to realize who this man is. I know he can be a little distasteful, but that's what you have to appreciate about him. There's no BS. He tells you how it is. Look at when he just went to the conference there with the black journalists. That one line was just classic. But she, the one from ABC, thought she's like, I have Trump. I'm going to put him in his place. And man, he bitch slapped her. She got exactly what she deserved. He was real, he was blunt, and he was brutally honest. And he's not lying. Trump is, from what I can see, I've been trying to do my research. Again, I'm Canadian. I've been looking back on previous presidents and looking at some of their policies and who was the really good ones, who was the really bad ones. And from what I can see, Trump has done more for the black community than any other president since his saying, as he's saying, Abraham Lincoln. How is it that you can have a multicultural president just a couple of years ago with Barack, and half of his culture is being a black man, and he's done nothing for the black community? What the heck is that? That doesn't make any sense. And it'll be the same thing with Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is temporarily black, and I'm not taking that away from her. She is a woman of color. She's Indian, she's black. Jamaican. I'm not exactly sure the black side of her heritage. I do know she's got a white granddaddy on that side. Great granddaddy. But we're not taking that away from her. She has every right to state she's a multicultural woman with black blood in her and whatnot. But with her, she did represent herself as an Indian woman all these years until it became useful to identify as a black woman. And you know, my old buddy, he died many years ago. He was half French and half Scotian, half black. And he used to tell me, he goes, no, Mark, he goes, I'm not half of each. He goes, I'm full of both. It's like, you know what, man, respect. I love that term that he said. So again, I'm not some white dude standing here trying to tell you Kamala Harris ain't black. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that she's using it conveniently now. Look at her in Georgia. Come on, man. She gets off the plane and all of a sudden she's talking like this. Like, come on, man. Or she tried to pull the black out of her there the other day. I can't remember which one it was, but you know when she did the stare down to try to give that hard mom look? She can't do that to a world leader. That ain't gonna work. You guys gotta get Trump in, man. Look, I don't wanna make this video too long. Anybody who comes across this and maybe actually sat and watched it, I really appreciate it. I will be posting up more. I'm actually waiting on a new camera. And I'm in the middle of moving. Well, not really the middle, but my house is packed up right now. I'm moving, so I can't really have an indoor studio set up at the moment. So any future videos that I will be doing will probably just be dog rants like this one. Let's try and get my dog in there. There he is. Oh, I lost him. That's Milo the Shiba. So again, anybody that's actually watched any of this, I do appreciate it. I will be back with more. I don't know how much traction this video will actually get since I have no subscribers in this channel. I'm just gonna post it up and hope for the best and get busy. I'll be getting more at this. In the meantime, you guys all keep your head up. Trump 2024.